Hey everybody, welcome to our webinar. This webinar is going to focus on the built-in accessibility features of your Microsoft products. We'll dig a little deeper into it. I'll talk about that in a second, what three big areas we'll talk about in this short webinar. Hello, if we haven't met before, my name is Mike Marotta. I am an assistive technology specialist coming to you from New Jersey. Excited to be recording these for you and sharing this information with you. Hope you gain something from it. If you want to reach out after you watch it, feel free. There's all my contact info, my website, my email address, my Twitter handle, whatever you want to do, reach out. I'm happy to chat with you about anything. So like I said, we're going to talk about Microsoft products today. These are our three big areas of focus that we'll look at. We'll look at what's built into your Windows computer, what's built into the Edge browser, and then finally we'll talk about learning tools, which to me is like probably the coolest part of what we'll talk about. We'll save it for last, but it is pretty great. The features that Microsoft has built into some of their products to support learners. Very exciting stuff. As we go through, if you'd like to follow along with the slides afterwards, if you want to go back to look at some resources, get some links off the slides, there's a quick bit.ly to the slides, bit.ly/MMATP-Microsoft. So feel free, the slides are up and they're available for you to dig through, so you have access to them even after the recording. So as we start jumping in, let me take one quick second and drop back and remind you that this is a recording. As you watch it, remember, take a second, pause the video, go explore, come back. That's okay. You know what? It's a recording. I'll still be here. It's okay. But definitely go and check these things out. Maybe you have the recording playing on one computer and then you play on another. That's fine too. But I want you to get a chance to see some of these things in action. So if something grabs you and you want to check it out, definitely go do that. All right, let's start with what's built into Windows. I say it probably every time I talk about technology with people. Start with what you have. Start with the things that are in the devices you already have. We don't have to go buy new things. We can use the tools we have more effectively to meet someone's needs. And that starts with built-in accessibility features. All products have them, and in fact, there's another one of these recorded webinars. Maybe you've watched it already, maybe you haven't, and if you haven't, check it out. It's just a built-in accessibility of all devices. And I think that's really important, is that every device has features built into it. Your Windows computer has all of these features built into it. A narrator to speak things out loud, a magnifier for visual supports, high contrast, captioning, supports for your keyboard, so physical access supports, keyboard and mouse, and other pieces that you can change to help you access the computer. And if you're on a Windows computer, go down to your Start button and do a search in your control panel, in your settings, and you can find, when your settings pop up, ease of access. Here it is. This is where all of the features live, under the ease of access center. And here they are, all on the left-hand side. Display, cursor and pointer, magnifier, filters, high contrast, narrator. You'll notice that they break these up into groups. All of the products do this. They'll break up the feature set into groupings where they're thinking about it for a certain type of individual, an individual with a certain type of need. When I think about built-in accessibility, I would challenge you to think broader about accessibility. Changing the display is not just for someone with a visual impairment. It could be someone with a learning disability, it could be someone with a cognitive impairment, it could be any type of user, but it goes back to what they need. All of this always goes back to, what does the person need? Don't get kind of sucked into I call them the buckets of features, buckets for vision and hearing and physical. Just think broader about it, as what does the person need that I'm working with, and what features might help them. So we have vision all on the left-hand side, hearing, interaction. This would be your speech to text, your keyboard options, your mouse options. Even if you're on a Windows computer, you have some eye control. You have eye gaze settings that you can play around with and see how that works. And I think what's important to remember about built-in accessibility, and this goes not just for Microsoft products, but any of the products, these are great features to use, to try things, to see if it might work for someone. And these will not be the most feature-rich products, but they will give you a little bit of information, a little bit of support. And what I like to look at this as is a first step. I try this. Oh, I'm going to use the magnifier that's built into Windows to see if that helps someone with supporting them visually with text and images on the screen. And maybe it does. But maybe it gets to a point where they don't get the level of support they need. And then we need to look for another item. Then we need to purchase another app or another software tool, whatever it might be. So use these as a trial. If I'm thinking about purchasing something for somebody, I like to use the built-in accessibility features first, so that when I go to the person who is in charge of the money, I can say, hey, I tried this feature and it was free and it kind of worked, but I need something more, and here's why. Here's when it stopped working for the individual, and here's the other features I need. If you can demonstrate it that way to a funding source, they have a hard time saying no to you because you made every effort using what you had already before you went and purchased something. So don't just run right to an app to purchase right away. Think about, how can I use some of these features to support someone as I move through? The Edge browser, I don't know how many people use the Edge browser. I'm not sure. I use it once in a while. As you can see from the recording here, I'm on a Windows computer today. Typically, I use a Chromebook as my primary computer, but this just happens to be what my Zoom recorder is on my laptop, my PC, so I use it here. But the Edge browser is built in, and the Edge browser has some nice features. One of the biggest features for me that I think is so powerful that's built right in is the Edge browser has a read aloud feature in it. You can pull down the toolbar on the right hand side. So now I'm in the Edge browser. I have a page open with some text. I want to have that text read to me. I've moved over to the three dots on the right hand side to pull down the menu. Menu pulls down, bunch of options there that we can go through, but one of them is the read aloud.
What is ATAC? The Richard West Assistive Technology Advocacy Center, ATAC, of Disability Rights New Jersey, DRNJ, serves as New Jersey's federally funded assist.
So that's just the built-in speech. It does the dual color highlighting. I can adjust the speed and the voice and the colors of those highlights. So I have a lot of things I can choose. So you saw I just hit the button. It just started reading the page. If I wanted it to only read a specific part of the page, I could highlight that with my mouse, come up to the speaker button and just hit play.
Its purpose is to assist individuals across New Jersey in overcoming barriers in the system and making it
perfect. Perfect feature. So again, thinking about those built-in features, are there tools that I could purchase that give me text-to-speech? Of course there are. There's tons of them. Here's one right here in my toolbar, the read and write option from Text Help. So I could do that, but why? If it's built in and that gives the level of support someone needs, great, use that. So that's built right in. One of the other things about Edge that I'm not sure if people know, because they may not use the Edge browser a lot, the Edge browser also gives you the ability to load in extensions just like the Chrome browser does. So you can add in tools to provide customized additional support for an individual. So if you'll notice the little icons show up here in the toolbar, I have the read and write is one of the options I have. I also have the translator, so I can now use the Microsoft Translator to highlight text on a page, click the button, and it will translate it to another language. That was an extension. But there is a full extension store. I can go into the store, explore more extensions, and pull out any features that work for me. And again, just like in the Chrome browser, I log into this browser and my extensions follow me. So I'll have that ability to have support wherever I go as long as I log into the browser. So the Edge browser is a very nice setup as an option, especially if you're on a Microsoft Windows computer. That might be your way to go. So think about the Edge browser. And then finally, as we wrap up, I wanted to leave as much time as I could for this, is the Learning Tools feature that Microsoft has put out. This is a really powerful set of features. These are reading supports, and I'll go through them and show you some of the examples, but just such powerful tools that are available across the Microsoft products. Microsoft doing something a little different with their built-in accessibility. Instead of focusing a lot on building it into Windows, Microsoft seems to be working through adding features into their products. So if you have Office 365, the features are built into that. If you use apps, some of the features are built into that. If you use the installed programs, the features are built in there. So they're doing it a little differently. And not every feature is available in every tool. So you have to kind of look and see what feature you're looking for. This is a little chart that Microsoft puts out that talks about learning tools and the features on the left-hand side, and then the tools that they're in as you go across the Microsoft family. So they have Read Aloud, they have spacing and font size so you can adjust how it looks, the display, colors, breaking words down into syllables, parts of speech, line focus, translation, picture dictionary, dictation, and even math and equation support in the OneNote tools and on Word that lives online. So thinking about those tools, what are we really talking about with learning tools? So we're talking about taking the written information on a page and adjusting it to make it easier to read, to give options for reading. And I mentioned some of those features on the last slide, but here they are. So when we look at Immersive Reader and the learning tools, text-to-speech, font size and style, spacing, colors, focus, picture dictionary, translation, and then the ability to break things down into syllables for parts of speech. So let me do this. Let me highlight some text. Let me try this. I'm going to highlight some text, and I'm going to bring it into, I'm going to show it in Word, and then I'll show it online as well. So here it is. So I just copy and pasted some text into Word Online. So here I am. When you're on Word Online, as you go into your menus, click on the View menu, and then one of your choices is Immersive Reader. I click Immersive Reader, it's going to change that text that I just brought in, and it's going to open up Immersive Reader. So here it is. So now we have Immersive Reader.
The Richard West Assistive Technology Advocacy Center, ATAC, of Disability Rights New Jersey, DRNJ, serves as New Jersey's federally funded.
Okay, so I can go through. You'll notice I already have something turned on, and that was the feature that allows it to break words into syllables. So you see those are already broken apart. If I click on the little speaker button, I can control the speed and whether it's a male or female voice. I have 3 menus at the top that allow me to navigate through some choices. So now I have the ability to control text size. I can change the spacing of the line. So as you notice, as I click that, it gives me some more spacing, some white space in between the words. I can adjust fonts. I can control the themes through colors if I want that, to control that for people. So that gives me the ability to adjust the text. In that center button, this is the grammar options. This was already checked, so I'll turn it off so you can get a sense of what, there you go. So now we're back to just the regular words on the text there. Instead, I can click this and have the syllables pop up so it breaks it down. This is a really powerful feature, is if you want to break things down to highlight parts of speech for an individual. So we're talking with a student about identifying nouns on a page. Well, now all the nouns are purple. So now as I go through, those words are broken up into purple. Maybe if I'm looking for verbs, they're all red as I go through. And again, just that visual support. I don't know of any other tool that does this with the parts of speech and the syllables, which is really powerful for a struggling reader. So that's a really, really interesting feature set that's there. When I go to reading preferences, I can adjust things for line focus. So I can do that. I can turn that on and off. I do have a picture dictionary. So if I click on a word, the picture pops up with the word there that I can listen to.
Project.
So I can hear it read that word to me. So that's the board maker symbols. You can use those to have some support. And then I can also choose a language to translate it to. We'll just do French. And then I will tell it to translate the whole document. And then watch what happens up here when we go back to our document. Now I have two choices. I have the original piece of text, and then I have that whole piece of text in French.
Le Richard West Assisté Technology Advocacy Center, attaque of.
So now I can have it read in both. So that's really powerful to give somebody that support of English and then perhaps a language that they're familiar with and comfortable with, and they can use those back and forth and just toggle back and forth to get a sense of that support they might need. So that was under the reading preferences by word and by document. So I'll turn that off so it's gone. So when we think about this as a support, really interesting level of supports that and not only is it built into the Microsoft products, but that Immersive Reader feature is built into other tools across the internet. So when we look at different web tools across the internet, Immersive Reader is built into Wakelet and Flipgrid, Canvas, Nearpod, Pear Deck, ThingLink. All of those have that feature in there, and you'll know it's a little speaker. You click that little speaker and it will give you all of those features we just looked at in all those other tools. And then I pulled this slide in from one of the other recorded webinars that I'm doing, but I wanted to touch on it here. If you're a Chrome person and you like the idea of Immersive Reader, there is an extension for the Chrome browser that brings Immersive Reader into Chrome. And it's called Use Immersive Reader on Websites. And it allows you to highlight text on a page. So now I'm back in the Chrome browser. So I know I'm bouncing around a little, but now I'm back in Chrome. So if I highlight text, here's that same piece of text. I'm on a website. If I right click on it now, it says help me read this in the options there. And what does it do? It brings Immersive Reader into the Chrome browser, and then all of the features I had before, here they all live again within the Chrome browser. So that is called Immersive Reader. Use Immersive Reader on websites, and that's a Chrome extension. So what are you going to do now with this information? Here's some suggestions. Try them. Dig into some of these features and try them. Remember, I say this to people with built-in all the time. Turn on one thing at a time. Don't turn them all on. Turn on one feature, play a little, turn it off, turn another one on. Go back and forth. And then I challenge you to find one person and share one feature with them, because I think this is how we start to turn the tide of people understanding inclusive technology, is we share these simple things with people. Built-in features are simple, and we should share them so everybody should know them. And then I also gave you a couple links. So if you go back to the slides afterwards, there's a whole entire YouTube playlist from the Microsoft team of different ways to use their tools in inclusive ways. Really good stuff. And then also there is a special ed accessibility website that they've pulled together that has some really nice resources on it. So you get some nice options there to go and explore a little bit further. Don't forget, I'm around. If you have questions, reach out to me, shoot me an email, reach out on my website, and I hope to talk to you soon about some of this technology. Good luck. I'm sure you'll do an awesome job. Have fun playing with it.
Thank you for watching this webinar. For more information on the ATP Education Program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.